Welcome, welcome. Once again, your boy Schola G is back in the building, yo. All right. Like I said, I'm a researcher. All I do is research. All right. Um. So there's people who are vegans, and they have the misconception sometimes of what they eat. Some vegans really think that what they're eating is best compared to people who eat meat, right? Some people who are vegans are actually in a worse healthy predicament than people who don't, who aren't plant based, who aren't vegan. And the reason why that is because there is a misconception of plants, okay? A lot of vegans have this conception that anything that is a plant that is edible, that is sold in stores or on a menu at a restaurant, that these are okay to eat, right? You know, when you go into a whole food place and they have all these, products of vegan options and stuff like that, and you think that because you as a vegan, you think that, oh, I'm good. As long as it's vegan, I'm good. Well, hate to say this for y'all, but that's far from the truth. All right. These are the number one things that's in a lot of vegan diet: starchy foods, synthetic soy, resistant starch, cyanide, genetically modified foods, and hybrid plants. Okay. This is going to be a quick breakdown of why a lot of vegans are still not in the best shape, okay? And why you hear about vegans having, these problems out of nowhere, or they still fall out, and you're like, what? Ha! I thought vegans were in better shape than us meat eaters, and look, they're falling out too. Yes, they are, because they're eating a lot of stuff that's containing stuff that's actually harming their bodies. So, starchy foods. Example of a starchy food is cauliflower, for example. And this is going to be in my book. And the book I'm writing on is the top 20 traditional foods people didn't know that may be harming you. Okay, I know that's a long title, but hopefully it gets the attention it needs. So, cauliflower is one of the foods that has a lot of, it actually has a resistant starch in it. And cauliflower, they obtain they have these different, what you would call, they have these amino acids that are very, very hard for the body to break down. And that's what resistant starch actually is. Resistant starch is actually foods that take a long time to process through the biosystem, through the colon and etc. Now, when you look up resistant starch, a lot of the information is going to tell you that resistant starch is good for you. It helps with diabetes, all these different things. But in reality, it actually takes the body a longer time to process things. So it actually slows down the digestive system from doing its job. And when this is backed up, what happens is headaches come in, nausea comes in, you start feeling bowel movements and different things reacting throughout the body. So cauliflower is not actually even an essential protein, or it doesn't even have essential proteins or amino acids that your body actually even needs. So it doesn't even need to even be consumed. All right, and that's just one. Okay, I'm gonna give you another one. You have rice, brown rice, white rice. All these different foods in that contain chemicals in them. Okay, white rice and brown rice contain a lot of pesticides. Okay, white rice is definitely a very, very, very pretty much a dangerous food to eat. Now, I get a lot of people arguing with me about the white rice stuff, but if you look up the disease called beriberi, Okay, it's Berber. Berry. Look up that, and it will tell you about a lot of Asian people because they have a lot of rice in their diet, white rice specifically, that they start having a lot of chronic diseases, and which is why their bone marrow is more smaller, and they have a lot of different issues with crouching and stuff like that, and they're very slim, and that's why you see a lot of that happening within their community. But I'm not here to talk down about the Asian community or any of that. I'm just going by my own research. But a lot of Asians actually have a lot of longevity lifespan because besides the white rice, they drink a lot of water that contain a lot of great minerals. They still consume other things in their diet that's substantial for their makeup, for their anatomy. And this is why people argue with me about, well, why they can live long and still eat this and da 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 da. Well, if you give that white rice to maybe a person like myself who's, I don't like to say African Americans, so I'm just going to go with Black American or Negro descent. We would not have the greatest health if we ate white rice, okay? The reason why I put cyanide also in the vegan diet, you have stuff like cassave cheese, cassave. You have peanuts, nuts, and all these different things. For example, almonds. Almonds contain cyanide in almonds. Now, the almonds that we get here in America that get shipped, it's a very low amount of cyanide because if you ate almonds strictly from where the almond comes from, you will probably drop dead. You would just drop dead and maybe never wake up, okay? But cyanide is in almonds, okay? Cyanide is also in cassave. You probably like, what the hell is cassave? Well, a lot of Africans eat cassave dishes, mostly like fufu and all that type of stuff. So they eat cassave, and but it is a lower amount of cyanide in their food. But the point of even eating it in the first place is already doing danger. It's already causing an amount of effects to your brain. All right. So this affects your brain. Cyanide affects your brain. Okay. Then you got genetically modified foods. Okay. Genetically modified foods, right, are food that's made in the lab that men have actually created. I would say broccoli, for example, is a genetically modified food. Okay, actually, cauliflower that I was telling you about is a genetically modified food. All right, so these foods, they're not part of nature. They're not really, grown in nature in any amount. They are manipulated by man, right? Now, hybrid foods, they're grown by nature, but the difference is they're grown by nature, but man manipulate the seeds. So, for example, hybrid plants are plants that pretty much when plants start to integrate with each other. So, if you planted a seed in the soil where it doesn't belong, in an environment that it doesn't belong, and it grows, it will cause a hybridization. It will cause plants that wouldn't naturally grow in this environment grow anyway. Because what happens is when these plants grow, right, nature is going to kill it. Bugs are going to eat it. Nature is going to slowly get rid of it. But this is why pesticide is sprayed on hybrid plants, so that way the bugs won't get rid of the plants, that way humans can still eat it. For example, corn. Corn is a hybrid plant. Corn is actually not a plant that people would tell you that the Native Americans ate. That is not true, okay? Let me give you an example of this, okay? When I say Native Americans, okay, I'm going way, 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 way back. I'm not going in the last 400 years. No, I'm going thousands and thousands of years. So thousands and thousands of years, we're talking about Mayans, Aztecs, they did not eat corn. They ate teosate. and teosinte. I'm sorry, teosinte. And teosinte was actually a natural corn, right? But it did not look like the corn we see today. That's yellow and big and round. It was very, very, very small, and then it contained. It actually did contain essential amino acids in them. So it wasn't much that the acids had to eat from that teosinte versus now. So a lot of people do not understand that the vegan diet is it's just a replacement of meat. Instead of replacing the meat with the actual foods that you needed to eat, you replaced it with just something that just looks like a plant, and you just went ahead and ate it. Is the problem with my personal opinion about this is that the problem with the vegan eaters is that they tend to only just stay away from meat instead of looking for the right nutrition that is part of their anatomy. So that's just pretty much all I had to say about the vegan thing. So if you guys got any questions, put it in the comments below. Like, subscribe, please follow me because I will be making more videos for everybody to listen to. I'm your boy Schola G, and that's it for me. Peace.